Hello YouTube, how is everyone? Today we will be making oxtails, beef oxtails in my Instapot, and I'm going to pressure cook it. In my recipe, we'll combine the oxtails with vegetables, carrots, celery, potatoes. I'll season the meat with Lowry seasoned salt, beefy onion soup mix, black pepper, and granulated garlic. You can use fresh garlic if you like. And also, you can add tomato paste. My mother-in-law used to put tomato paste in hers. And also, we'll add onions. You can use fresh onions, frozen onions. I'll buy onions in bulk and cut them up. I'll dice some of them, slice some of them in rings, and put them in the freezer. They're just as good as the ones that you buy already frozen in the bag with the bell pepper and celery. And I also, although I'm using fresh celery this time, I do the same thing with my extra celery. I dice it up and put it in the freezer, and it comes in handy because I'll saute them anyway to soften them up. So we're going to make oxtails. So take the meat out of the fridge, and you want it to come to room temperature before you start cooking it, because when it's done, if you let it come to room temperature, the meat is tender. So before you start cooking it, make sure it's at room temperature. And here's something else that I do. I go ahead and season it while I'm waiting on it to reach room temperature so that the season gets into the meat. Okay, I'm going to do that now. We'll add the Lowry seasoned salt. Black pepper. Make sure you get a good coverage on all of the meat. Because remember, this seasoning will not only season the meat, but it's going to season the vegetables too. And you can add your garlic powder now or add it to the liquid. So I'm going to wait and add it to the liquid. I'll put a little bit on now, just a little bit. And add some more in the Instant Pot. So now we're going to let this sit for it to reach room temperature. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is brown this. I'm going to brown all the sides, all the tops and bottoms of it. It'll add color and flavor to the meat, because it'll seal in some of the juices, and it'll add flavor to the vegetables too. While the meat is reaching room temperature, I'm going to go ahead and disinfect all of my seasonings and put them back in the cabinet. By cleaning them, you keep your cabinets clean. I'll leave the garlic out, but put the seasoning salt and the black pepper away. Okay, my Instant Pot has a saute feature right here. If you don't have a saute feature on your Instant Pot, you can lightly brown your meat in a heavy skillet and then add it to the Instant Pot. But right now I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the Instant Pot and start browning the meat. Just a couple of tablespoons. Okay, for sauteing meat, for browning meat, we're going to put it on normal. It's already on normal. This is a 6-quart Instapot. I'm going to try to put as much of the meat in here as possible. I'm just going to stuff it in there. After the meat reaches room temperature, brown it in the Instapot on saute, normal setting, until it's brown on all sides. So you'll have to turn the oxtail so that you can brown on all sides. And if you don't have the saute feature on your Instant Pot, you can brown it in a heavy skillet. Add about a couple of tablespoons of oil to the Instant Pot or to whatever pan you use to brown it in. And just keep turning until it's browned on all sides. See where this one is starting to brown? Right here. This piece is brownie. Okay, I had too many oxtails to fit in the pot at one time, so as it browns, I'm going to take it out and put another piece in. When I got it all brown, I'll be back. You can see I finished browning some of it and still browning the other part of it. Okay, once your meat is browned, you want to add liquid to the pot to deglaze it. Because if you don't, these particles that you see in there, that's nothing but flavor. You want to release that flavor into the liquid. And if you don't, then the food that you put in the bottom might burn. So you can saute your vegetables in the same oil for just a little bit, or you can just go ahead and deglaze it and add your liquid. I'm going to add, since I have 4 pounds of oxtails, I'm going to add 32 ounces of beef chicken stock. And scrape the bottom of the pot. Until it's clean. So I'm gonna lift the flavor from the bottom of the pot. That's just flavor. See, I'll add some more time to my saute. I'll just stir until the bottom of the pot feels clean. So let's go over what we've already done. We let our oxtails reach room temperature about an hour, and while it's reaching room temperature, we season it with salt, the Lowry seasoned salt, a little bit of garlic powder, some black pepper. Then we sauteed it or braised it until the meat is brown in the Instant Pot. On saute, if you don't have a saute setting on your Instant Pot, just brown it in a heavy skillet on the stove top. And I use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. You use the type of oil that you like to use. Vegetable oil, canola oil, avocado oil, peanut oil. The type of oil that you like to use. Okay. Feels like the bottom of the pot is just about clean. This is one thing I couldn't wait to do as a child. When people would cook in the kitchen, they would tap the spoon on the side of the pot And I don't know why I got a thrill out of that, and I still do it to this day. Okay. Okay, these are the vegetables that I'm going to add to the Instant Pot. They've been thoroughly washed, and these size potatoes are okay. I had these just a small amount in a bag, and so I decided to use these along with these. So I'm going to cut these in half. And leave the carrots this size. And then I'll leave these this size too. If you want roasted potatoes, a little bit of color, you can saute these in your Instant Pot too. Or saute them on your stove top. Okay. Celery. I will cook celery with my food, but I don't dice it up because the seasoning from the celery, the celery will season the food, and when it gets done, I just take a fork and take the wilted limp celery out of my dish because it has served its purpose. So I usually cut it up into this size pieces. And okay, it's okay to put the leaves in for a little bit of extra color and decoration. Okay. And then of course I'll add the onion. I'm adding the carrots. To the Instant Pot. Move it over so you can see it. Put the carrots in. The potatoes. And why did I put so much liquid in? Well, if you've used an Instant Pot before, you already know that you're pressure cooking it, and if you don't put the liquid in, your meat will, you need that liquid. Your meat will burn. I like to go ahead and add my vegetables to my Instant Pot and cook it along with the meat, because that's how I would cook it if I was slow cooking it. Now let's just hope we have enough room at the top for the meat. Vegetables in here. Okay, YouTube, the oxtails, carrots, and potatoes are done. I have already removed all of the celery because once the celery seasons the food, I take it out. And you see the gravy that's left over? You can take this and make a roux with it, make a gravy, and pour it over the vegetables, or just serve it on the side. I'm going to put a little bit of the juice on the vegetables. And just serve it like it is. And if you want to get the bits of onion that's at the bottom, and you can save the leftover liquid and make soup with it too, and use it to make a gravy for something else later on. And you can also use it to cook vegetables in it. Okay, so here's my oxtails and vegetables. Lots of carrots and potatoes. This is basically an oxtail, carrots, and potato stew. Let's serve some up and see how they taste. See how tender that is? It's fork tender. Put it with a piece of carrot. We'll take a big bite. This is falling off the bone, juicy and tender. The carrots are also tender, flavorful. Let's take some potato. Delicious. I'm going to get another piece of oxtail just to show you just how tender it is again. Look at how easily this comes off of the bone. You see how easy that was? It is so moist, juicy, delicious. Very good. And I cook this in the Instapot.